नमो तस्स भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स। नमो तस्स भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स। नमो तस्स भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स। बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि, धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि, संघं शरणं गच्छामि, द्वितीयंपि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि, द्वितीयंपि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि, द्वितीयंपि संघं शरणं गच्छामि, तृतीयंपि बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि, तृतीयंपि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि, तृतीयंपि संघं शरणं गच्छामि। पाणातिपाता वेरमणि सिक्खापदं समाधियामि, अदिन्नदाना वेरमणि सिक्खापदं समाधियामि, कामेषु मिच्छाचारा वेरमणि सिक्खापदं समाधियामि, मुसावादा वेरमणि सिक्खापदं समाधियामि, सुरामेरयमज्जपमादठाना वेरमणि सिक्खापदं समाधियामि, सर्वपापस्य अकरणं कुशलस्य उपसम्पदा, सच्चित्तपरियोधपणम् एतं बुद्धान् शासनम्। साधु साधु साधु।
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the exalted one, homage to the enlightened one, homage to the perfected one. Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to extend my heartiest greeting and thanks to Global Buddhist Congregation India for their kind invitation. And also I would like to thanks to Mr. Harip Kamble and his wife, Mrs. Ruzana, and for their fellow Dhamma friends for this taken a good initiative for online Dhamma program. Indeed, this deepest honor to me, and I am very happy to sharing with you the Dharma discourse today. So today, I would like to discourses on the practice of giving or dana. So dana or giving is extolled in the Pali Canon as a great virtue. And it is in the fact of that bringing of the path to the liberation. The practice of giving is a universally recognized as one of the most basic human virtue, a quality that testified to the depth of one's humanity and one's capacity for self-transcendence. In the teachings of the Buddha, to the practice of giving claims a place of special immense, one who is singles in out as a being in a sense the foundation of seat of spiritual development. In the Pali Suttas, we read time and again that talk on giving. It is called Dhanakota, was invariably the first topic of to be discourses by the Buddha in his graduated exposition of the Dhamma. Whenever the Buddha delivered a discourse to an audience of the people who had not yet come to regard him as their teacher, he would start by emphasizing the value of giving. Only after his audience had come to appreciate his virtue would he introduce the aspects of his teachings, such as morality, the law of karma, or the law of action, and the benefit of renunciation. And only after all these principles had made their impact on the mind of his listeners would he expound to them that unique discovery of the awakened ones. The Four Noble Truths, this is the fundamental teachings of the Buddha. And the importance of practice of giving in our daily, the human life, because the Buddha recognized in the human mind there have three destructive root or unwholesome root. the greed, the hatred, and the delusion. Oppositely, the Buddha saying in this human mind, they have three beautiful capacities: the non-greed, non-hatred, and the non-delusion. So, how can we practice of the non-greed? Through the practice of generosity, through the practice of dana or giving. Therefore, we can, through the practice of dana or giving, we can eliminate for greed or eliminate for our craving. So, therefore, practice of giving or sharing or offering the dana, it is very important in our the human life. The object to be the given, it is the third factor is the involved in giving is the as a gift or itself, which can be either material or immaterial. In the Dhammapada stated the verse number 354, Sabbadanang Dhammadanang Jinati. This means the gift of the Dharma excels the all gifts. Like as a monk or novices, they always expound the teachings of the Buddha. Monk who prays sermons or recite from the Tripitaka, or teachers of meditation, sharing or guiding on the technique of meditation, frequently share the truth. The truth is the Dhamma and Dharma is the truth. If there is no any truth, so there is no any the Dharma. And thus practice the highest kind of the generosity. Those of us who are not qualified to teach the Dharma can give the gift of the Dharma in other ways. Like we have to be offering the Dharma books to others, like we have an opportunity to publications of the Dharma books or Dharma scriptures for the benefit of the others, for the happiness of the others. Also propagating of the Buddha's teachings, we can sharing the Dharma books or fabricate or writing the Dharma books, which is helping to others for the benefit of others and for the welfare of others. So, in other ways, in the lay community, especially, they have to practice the higher moral life or higher principle, like not killing, not stealing, uh, not any sexual misconduct, or not lying, or not intoxicant or alcohol drinks or so. Therefore, we have to practice the giving dana for the development of our spiritual attainment. It is very important and very necessary for in our daily life. Also, the perfection of the giving, there is a mode of giving which is the completely disagreed the qualities of the recipient and even the mundane fruits of the merit acquired by giving. Such generosity springs from the motive of renunciation, thought of eliminating one's attachment and to the possession, thus aims to giving away to dearest and most difficult gifts. Bodhisattvas, Bodhisattvas means the wise persons. In the Buddha, in his previous life, when he was a Bodhisattva, he also fulfillment of 30 kinds of the is Dana Parami. Parami is this called the perfection. In as a Buddhist, we are accomplished to fulfillment of our parami or paramitas. Parami is the perfections. We have 10 kinds of perfection, like I call Dashaparami. Dashaparami is I call 10 perfection. The first is the Dana Parami. Not only in the Theravada Buddhist tradition, in certainly Buddhism, they have a three school, Theravada school, Mahayana school, and Vajrayana school. Both of tradition highly practice it, the Dana Parami, because we need to practice of through the giving, then we can attain our ultimate the enlightenment or ultimate the peace or blissful state of the nirvana. It is helping us because it is the great virtue or great qualities. So offering not only in the vihara or monastery or the monks, nuns, if your friends or relative when they are sick, you can sharing financially to them, stand forward to you, support to others like your neighbors in your country, your relatives, your friends. It's mean you have to grow up, cultivate the compassionate action through the practice of generosity or giving. Because through our support, our help, others they get the uh, hope for the survive and hope for the better tomorrow and hope for the living. Because therefore, we need to practice in every day whatever we have the ability to sharing each others. As a Buddhist, the practice from their heart with the deep devotion in every day to offering go to the monastery, offering the dana to the monks, reverend monks, for the making the uncountable merits. This merits which is helping us here and after. Through the merits after die, if we get the again the reward, maybe we will be existence in the good places, or maybe reborn in the good place. So therefore people would like to be fulfillment of their paramita or parami. Therefore practice in as a Buddhist in Buddhist community in the Asian country in the West also try to be practice the dana or generosity. I have been in Thailand long times for pursued my studies in Buddhist studies. I have deeply observed and deeply seen that Thai devotees are very humble and very generous. Every day in Thailand, thousands monks in early morning they went to the alms rounding. Even I myself also have the great opportunity to every day I have went to the alms rounding. In my life, I seen many people they have daily practices. Every day they would like to offer something to the monk, like a fruits, like a basic needs of monks, like a medicine and cloth and necessary whatever they have opportunity, they try to be support or sharing to the uh, monks, and also go to the monastery for offering to monastery for development of monastery, for construction of the monastery, chaitya, pagoda, And even the monks, nuns, if they are sick, as a Buddhist, always cultivate and support for them for their treatment, for their education. If they go to abroad for their transportation, they support a lot because a generous mind, it is a generous people or a generous person, whatever he or she maybe go, everywhere she is warmly welcomed by everyone, and everyone respect, honor to him or her. So as a moral person, as a generous person, whatever they go, they are receiving the warm heartiness from others, and for the more greetings from others, and they receive more respect from others. The goal of the giving, the goal of the Buddhist path is emancipation from the suffering. Suffering is the universal, it is called the dukkha. How can you eliminate from the dukkha or suffering or unsatisfactoriness? So if you want to be overcome suffering, overcome from the dukkha, or overcome from suffering, you have to be cultivate to be a generous life or the practice of the giving. And it is the repeated existence of the samsara. The Buddha thought that uprooting ignorance and the mental defilements, it is nurtures will bring us to the nirvana, the ultimate peace, the utter cessation of suffering. The unwholesome mental tendencies make us cling to what we mistakenly take to be ourselves. They keeps us struggling to satisfy our unstable senses desire with objects that are inherently transitory and thus unsatisfying. The Buddha said that the practice of giving will aid us on us effort to purify the mind, and generous gift accompanied by wholesome volition. The volition is called Pali called Chetana. Volition is the help to the eradicate suffering in three ways. The first, when we decide to give something of our own, of someone else, we simultaneously reduce our attachment to the object. And to make a habit of giving can thus gradually weaken the mental factor of craving. Craving is called Pali in Tanha. Craving, the one of the main causes of unhappiness. So craving, aversion and delusion, it is the cause of our unhappiness in the human life. Secondly, the giving accompanied by wholesome volition will lead to happy future birth in the circumstance favorable to encountering and practicing the pure Buddha Dhamma or the teachings of the Buddha. Third, and most important, when giving is a practice it with the intention that the mind becomes pliant enough for the attainment of nirvana. The act of the generosity will help to us develop barshu and concentration and wisdom. It is called sila, samadhi, and panya. The barshu is called sila, concentration is called samadhi, and wisdom is called in panya. Right in the present, there are three stages make up the Buddha's Noble Eightfold Path. The perfecting the path leading to the existing of our suffering. Suffering is the universal. The Buddha seeing the human life, they have a suffering. But he showed the path how can we overcome from our suffering or unsatisfactoriness. So therefore, the giving, it is the basic, the root or preliminary route for our spiritual attainment or our spiritual development. Giving is a prime and importance in the Buddhist scheme of mental purification because it is the best weapon against the greed or lobha. The human mind, they have a greed, hatred and delusion. Earlier I have mentioned it with you all. How can we overcome from these unwholesome activities, from our unwholesome root, or it is called akusala mula. In the Abhidharma mentioned it that in akusala mula. So through the practice of generosity, through the sharing or giving to others, you can overcome from all kind of akusala mula. And at the novel giver is one who is the happy before. So if you would like to, when you would like to offering something or giving to something, so before your giving and during your giving and after the giving, your mind should be very pure. You should be give with the very pure mind and very respectfully and very humbly. Then you have to be accumulate the immeasurable merit or uncountable merit. So before giving, the during the giving, and after the giving, you have to offer with the pure mind. Then your offering or giving is maybe very more fruitful. So dear friends, Dhamma brothers and sisters, I know those who in online listening my discourse, in your lifetimes you have a great opportunity to giving or sharing many times. But we need to be sincere for the procedure of the giving. We have to be very sincere and very respectfully and very peacefully with the purity, maintain the purity. Then we have to offer to monks, nuns, any. If you want to establish to offering a monastery, if you like to offering a medical center, if you like to make a public library, or if you want to publication the Dharma book, or if you like to offering the Dharma book, or if you like to offering any medicine, many things, and if you like to any food, cloth, any necessary things, you have to be very sincere for on these three fourfold the training or three fourfold basic education. Our before giving, during giving, and after giving, you have to very sincerely, you have to be offering, and very diligently and very peacefully or very respectfully you have to be offering to monks, nuns, and monastery. Then your uh, offering may be more fruitful. In the Buddha, in his lifetime, in his numerous discourses, in Sutta Pitaka, in Nidesa, in the Dhammapada, and in the Anguttara Nikaya, he highly advises and on the giving and emphasizes to the people for giving. In his lifetime, we see the king Prasenjit, King Bimbisara, and the millennial of Anatipindik Sresti, and the great Mahaupashika in Vishaka in the Buddhist history, and also great Empire Ashoka also. They offer a lot, they're giving a lot for the prosperity of the Buddha's dispensation. The Vishaka in every day she offered the meals for medicine, for any necessary things for the monks. When the Buddha was in Jatavana Vihara, Jatavan monastery, which is donated by an Anathapindix Shasti, the millionaire of Sravastia at that time. And the king Bimbishara also offering the monastery in the Bandhavan Vihara to the Buddha. In later, in great empire Ashoka, he established many pagoda in honor of the Buddha, in honor to the teachings of the Buddha. For the preservation of the Buddha's teaching, Buddha Dharma, he established many stupa, pagoda, monastery in the India, in the Indian subcontinent. As you know, I think everyone about that. So, therefore, in our human life, we are very blessed because we got the precious the human life. If we want to be very perfect to our human life, we need to be practice of the good qualities like the practice of the giving, or like a practice of the higher moral life, or try to be practice of higher concentration, or practice of the meditation for our prosperous and peaceful life. You know, our life is very short. We are born, maybe someday we will pass away. We have the great opportunity this human life. Therefore, we need to practice the always the kushala kamma, or wholesome deed or wholesome action, for the make a merits. These merits always helping us, protecting us here and after. In the Mani Sutta, the Buddha he emphasizes and advises to his followers, especially the lay disciple, for practicing of the giving. Because when we offer something, then that time we are feel very happy, and that those who receive something from others as a gift, this is also be very, very feel very happy and very peaceful. So therefore, we need to be follow up something like the motivation of our the giving. The one gives with the anyone's, or as a way to offending the recipient, or with the idea of, or any something you would like to offer, maybe if you insulting to him or her, maybe it is not a proper way. You have to be giving to very proper way, in humble way, in respect way, with the compassionate way. Then it is make a more merit and more happier for both of receiver and giver. And also, fear also can motivate a person to make an offering. And once give and return in favor done to oneself in the past, and one also may give the hope to getting similar favor oneself in the future. And one gives because giving is considered a good. Giving, practice of giving or giving something to others it is a very good deed. It is a good meritorious deed. So some gives alms to gain a good reputation. So before I have mentioned that those who offering or giving to something to others, whatever they go, they are always receive some respectful or the dignity from others. And also, you have to manner of the giving. Many suttas contain that the lay devotees must emphasize on the manner of the giving. The attitude of the donor in the act of giving makes a world of difference for the goodwill between the donor and recipient, irrespectively of whether of the gift given big or small. Because anything when you like to offer, you have to be with the pure mind. Again and again, I would like to repeat you, which is the beneficiary for both each others. The Buddha, in his teachings, in his first sermon, he advised to the five disciples go forth for the many of the happiness, for the good of the many, for the welfare of the many, for the happiness of the many. So if you want to happy to others, you have to be sharing to each others. You have to be to always do the good deed or wholesome action. This is called for the good of the many, for the happiness of the many, or for the welfare of the many. So therefore, in the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha contained that enumerates a number of this worldly benefit of the giving, the generous person and not the miser, who is the sympathy of others. Those who offer or give to others, they are receiving sympathy, love, and warm heartedness, welcome from the others. And Arahants, the enlightened ones, the Arahants and the noble monks, they approach them, accept them, and alms and peace to them. A good reputation spread about him or her. Those who offering, those who sharing, or those who practice of the giving, they are good reputation in spread in around, like in society, in the community, in your friend circle, or in the country, or in the continent, or in the globally, and everywhere. Your good reputation is spread very quickly, and he can attend any assembly with confidence and with the dignity. And he is reborn in a state of happiness after the death. In another Sutta, Buddha contend that a generous person wins the very popularity, and people of noble character associate with him, and he has the satisfaction of having the fulfilled a layperson's the duties. It is said that the alms giver bestows on others' lives like beauty, happiness, strength, and longevity. Through the offerings, the alms, like food, Buddha very beginning mentioned that Sabbe Sattaharatika. This means that all living beings depend on food. Because if we not eating, if we not receive any kind of the food, we cannot survive to ourselves. We cannot thinking, we cannot practice the Dharma, we cannot meditate. So therefore, we need to be every day receiving the food or alms from others. So those who are offering the alms, the food to monks, they receive the four merits of four virtue. First is the longevity, second is the beauty, and the third is the happiness, the fourth is the strength or power. These four things they receive it here and after. So therefore, those who wise and intelligent person, they try to be offering in every day whatever he or she have capacity or ability, try to maintain in his daily life for offering to monks, offering to monastery, for giving to the friends, relative, really those who need. You see, in this pandemic situation, the doctor, many donor, many billionaire, millionaire, they are offering to government, to United Nations, and in the other officials for protecting for other lives. They extend their financial support for any basic necessary things like a vaccine, like a medicine, cloth, food, many things during the pandemic situation. Those who rich people, kind-hearted people, generous people, they extend their heart for the sake of others' life, hope of others' life, happiness of others' life. It is a great human virtue or human value, because if my neighbors, my relatives, my friends feel suffer or unhappy, I cannot live in happily or peacefully. So happy is he who makes the others happy. If you want to ensure your happiness, you need to take care for others also, like your members of family, your neighborhood, your friends, and your relatives and your community. And globally, if possible, you need to extend your hand towards to others, those who really need. The Buddha, he advised to his disciple, those who serve to the feeds, hungry and sick peoples, then he served to me. In here also we have to be so therefore we have to be continue practice the con- practice of the continue of dana, because it is the very greatest in the human virtue in our daily life. So good deeds are usually classified in threefold, like a generosity, like a morality, like a mental development. The mental development or mental cultivation is called uh, it is called bhavana. Bhavana is called the mental development or mental cultivation. This good deed always make a happiest person in personal life, his or her family life, in social life. So therefore, good deeds are usually classified in threefold, like generosity, morality, and development, mental development. This threefold classification should not be considered a rigid one. Morality or abstinence from evil deed can also be seen as an aspect of the generosity, as an act of kindness to others. When we abstain from evil deed, we give others beings to opportunity to live in peace and free from harm. And if we want to develop the generosity, we should not neglect the mental development, the development of wholesome state of the mind. We should know when consciousness is unwholesome and when unwholesome, in order to develop the generosity and others' good qualities. Knowing more about one's different type of consciousness is the mental development. So, dear friends, therefore we need to be always the perform the good deed or kushala karma or wholesome action, because it is make us more happier or the more peaceful, like a give the freedom to others. This is called avayadana, fear, free from the fear. And those who seek, if you support them for their treatment, for medicine, and those who really need, if you support them for the food or necessary need, clothes, it is make us a uncountable merit. In the Buddha, in his memorial discourses, he emphasized to everyone to practice this the always the good deed. So a good deed come from our mind. Therefore, we need to be purify our mind and need to develop to our mind, and because everything is begin from our mind. Because a impure mind cannot do a good deed or wholesome action. Therefore, we need to be trained up or develop to our mind also. So I would like to inform you that uh, many people you seeing they have established the school university, colleges for the prosperity or spreading the education. And you see some of people they're helping or they establish the medical center for helping to others. They offer the medicine freely to others, and those who seek, those who really need. Some of the only kind-hearted people, only generous people, they can do such these activities. Because if our mind is not kind or compassionate, we cannot helping to others. And the giving of fearlessness, this is the giving of the protection of the beings when they have become frightened on account of king, thieves, the five, the water, enemies, lions, tigers, others wild beasts, and dragons and goblins. We need to be giving of fearlessness from this. It is also best giving. And the giving of the Dharma is also excels the others gives. And giving of the Dharma is an unperverted discourse on the Dharma given with an undefiled mind. That is the methodical instruction conducive to good in the instruction conducive in the to good in the present life and to good in the life to come, and the ultimate deliverance by means of such discourses. Those who have not entered Buddha's dispensation enter it, while those who enter it reach the maturity therein. So giving dana is the essential and preliminary steps of Buddhist practice. When practices in itself, it is the basis merit or wholesome karma. So you have to be very sincere on giving, because you're earning money or you whatever you accumulated your wealth, property, or you earning, it should be in the proper way. It's not cheating to others, not like a corrupted money or illegal way. If you earn this money, if you are offering this money or giving this money or your anything or food, maybe it is not very fruitful. So you have to be very sincere on your earning also. If your earning is the proper way, then this from this earning, if you offer or giving to others, it is maybe more and more fruitful, or you may accumulate the uncountable merit. So in the Buddha's dispensation, the life of the Buddha, many king, many millennia associate with the life of the Buddha. The support, they extend their hand, generous support to the Buddha and his noble disciple in over 45 years during the Buddha's lifetime. In after, in India, Indian subcontinent, whatever Buddhism and Buddhist practitioner live, they always practice and extend their uh, generous support to monks, to monastery for prosperity of Buddha Sasana, for the dispensation of Buddhism, and it is also practice of the compassion in action. Because the paramita or parami or the perfection, we have to be fulfilled through our own cultivation. If I want to support to others, helping to others, maybe I may accumulate the merits. So therefore we need to be encouraged and advised to others for always the practice of giving and sharing to other for others' hopes, for other better tomorrow. You know, in this the pandemic situation, the many of people supporting to each others. Many of million of the people stuck in the home. They have some of people they are jobless. Some of people they have no earn. Therefore, those who their friend or relative are financially strong or wealthy strong, they extend their support to their friends, relatives, and country to country, continent to continent. Because as a human intelligence, the human mind, we need to be always cultivate or develop gradually for the working for the welfare of the many, for the happiness of the many. So as a Buddhist practitioner, we are very sincere. We need to be cultivate always good deed, because the Buddha, he advised always to us not to do any evil, do good and purify our own mind. Therefore, we have to be practice always the generous life, which is helping to others for their hope, for their survive. Therefore, I am humbly request to everyone, whatever we have the capacity or ability to, we need to be extend our support, our hand to others for their shake up life, for their happiness, for their peace, for their survive. Like as a mother, she has highly sacrificed everything for survive of her child. Therefore, like as a mother, we need to be loved to all sentient being in in this world, because the human, whatever happen in our around in our society, in the globally, we are responsible for them. You see, globally many people, they didn't receive their basic element in their life. So if we are come forward to them, extend our generous heart, extend our support to them, maybe they get the better hope for survive for better tomorrow. So I would very happy to be sharing this discourse today. I think you may able to understand what I would like to sharing with you, and I hope in another discourse I will be join with you. So the practice of giving, like the global Buddhist congregation in India, they taken is a good initiative for globally broadcasting the Dharma discourse. Buddha also mentioned that the gift of the Dharma excels the all gifts. Through this Dharma discourse, Dharma deliberations, many people get the knowledge how can we can overcome from our suffering, how can we maintain our life properly, because in every day, in every topic, many scholar monks, many wise monks, they highly sharing their experience on their practice in Buddhism. Buddhism is a moral and philosophical system enlightenment. Buddhism is always lead to us, guide to us how can we eliminate from unsatisfactoriness, eliminate from dukkha, or eliminate from our suffering, and guide to us how can we achieve the supreme spiritual attainment, or what is called the supreme the deliverance or deliberation. Therefore, we have to be practice the moral life always, and to be practice of the giving or dana. So it is very important also through the practice of the dana, we have to be fulfillment of our perfection. So dear friends, my brothers and sisters, I would like to thanks once again all of you for your good attention, and especially I would like to thanks again to Global Buddhist Congregation in India, and Mr. Harshdeep Kamble and his wife Mrs. Rojana, and for their all fellow Dhamma friends, those who taken this good initiative for online Dharma broadcasting or Dharma sharing. So I would like to conclude with this and sharing my merits. May you all always stay happily, joyfully, and prosperously. And may your life be filled with joy, peace, happiness, and prosperity always in the coming days. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. Bhavatu Shabba Mangalang Rakantu Shabba Devata Shabba Buddhanubhavena Sada Shuddhi Bhavantuti Bhavatu Shabba Mangalang Rakantu Shabba Devata Shabba Dhammanubhavena Sada Shuddhi Bhavantuti Bhavatu Shabba Mangalang Rakantu Shabba Devata Shabba Sanganubhavena Sada Shakti Bhavantuti. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy. May all beings be happy.